sometimes you just take a couple sips and you think, oh, this tastes good, but it's actually really strong. And then other times you just take one sip and you think,
oh my gosh, this is so strong.
But it's all the same. And that's what life is about. Hat hair, don't care. I actually kind of like it. I'm back in the cabin again. I always get the song, I'm back in the high life again. Is that from Steve Winwood? I always get that song stuck in my head when I come back to my cabin. Just like whenever I'm shopping for avocados, I always get the song, solid, solid as a rock, in my head, because, you know, when you gotta like sort of squish the ends to see if they're ripe. I am laying here on my bed because it's almost nap time. Most of my day here in Bratislava is over. We're getting ready to sail away. But if I backtrack a little bit and tell you about the beginning of the day, it started like this. Rain. The excursion I booked included a train ride up to the city's castle and then a walking tour of the old city. Thankfully, the quote-unquote train was covered, but, anyone heard of social distancing here? Not possible. And then, all the poor elderly folks in the train wanted to roll up the windows because of the cold breeze outside. I'm just no comment. After about a half an hour of sightseeing down in the city, we ended up on the hill at the castle. Parts of this castle date back to Roman times, but of course it's been built and rebuilt and rebuilt many times since then. Compared to the monotone tour guide of the horse ranch on the day before, this guide was fantastic. She had so many one-liners in her presentation which made it a lot of fun to listen to her. For instance, after we walked up the hill through the entrance gate, she explained that there was an extra entrance gate added to the other side to complete the symmetry of the Baroque style. But it's just for decoration. There's no road leading up to it. When it was time to move on to the next station of the tour, she said, "And because you're a German group, I know you're all going to go over to that gate and look down to make sure I've got my facts straight." Hilarious. By the way, we did. The castle also has a beautiful garden, if you're into that. Nowadays, with attractions like theme parks, escape rooms, and movie theaters in every city, it's hard to imagine that gardens like this also used to be considered a major attraction. You know, something that people would come from all over to see. I enjoy looking at it and can appreciate the amount of work that went into it, but I also appreciate modern technology like roller coasters and water slides. Oh, and by the way, they also offer free hugs up at the castle, so, you know, if you're looking. We made it up to the top by the castle, and this has been a really entertaining morning just because the tour guide is so entertaining. Not only is she giving us all the facts, but she also has a lot of good one-liners and just funny little phrases that fit to the area and the culture, the history, and so different than the woman yesterday who also had all the facts, but not much delivery. Like she was saying, there's these stone structures that they put by the street so that cars can't drive up in here. And she said, and they're shaped like a bishop's hat. And it's not only for the culture, but it's also to make them uncomfortable to sit on. But some people do say they're very comfortable to sit on. You'll have to try it out and let me know. Also, there are speed signs. So if you're driving up here on a moped or whatever. But she said, you know, just so you know, these speed signs are also for us walkers. So nobody walk faster than 10 kilometers an hour, please. They're kind of dad jokes, but it's right up my alley. After we finished our tour of the castle, we took the train back down into the old city. Our guide walked us through the old streets and told us in her extremely entertaining ways about the things that make Bratislava special, and there sure are a lot of them. Including the laser that was originally built for a festival of lights, but now helps all the drunk people find their way back to the city center at night. It starts up by the church tower, then reflects off this mirror, over to that mirror, and then down the street. We didn't get to see it in action, but it looks like this.
Very practical.
Also, Bratislava was attacked by Napoleon's army back in the day, and it was said if your building was damaged by a cannonball, you got a tax break. So the citizens started to basically glue cannonballs to their outside walls in order to get the discounts, and some of them are still there.
We're walking through the old part of the city right now, and I promise I did not do that. I promise.
Just like in every city, there are some corners that are not so beautiful, but all in all, the city was way more clean and cheery than, let's say, Naples, Italy?
This is the city hall behind me, and so much of it reminds me of the castle in the Magic Kingdom. The size of the bricks here on the side, this little tower at the entrance area, these shapes in the hallway, this passageway on the second level. Leave it to me to be in the middle of Bratislava and think about Disney World. Here's another really interesting thing that our tour guide told us today. That green bridge was always called the Old Bridge, and this was considered the New Bridge. But recently, they rebuilt the Old Bridge, so now the Old Bridge is actually the New Bridge, and it's newer than the New Bridge, so that's now the Old Bridge.
Say what?
And she said, so now people who are old enough to know that as the Old Bridge, just call them now the Green Bridge and the UFO Bridge, because that. I guess it rains on this street a lot. Been there before. And after all that walking, I'm going to treat myself to a very typical Bratislavian lunch of hummus, kimchi, and dumplings.
The food scene in Bratislava also blew me away. So many great looking places to get a bite or a drink, like this vegan restaurant called Foodstock where I had lunch. I wish there was a place like this on my street. Oh wait, there is. I just never go there. Oh well. By the way, I also found a Mexican restaurant, but it was closed.
I'm going to walk through the magical portal and be transported to the other side of the magical portal. And like I said, now I'm back here in the cabin. It's like 20 past 1, and I've been up since 6:37, so it's okay to be nap time, isn't it?
Isn't it?
I'm on a cruise. I'm old. I can take a nap.
Streams of violet rays coming over me. Must have been dreaming it all. It's beyond me. I never knew your thoughts were about me. Must have been dreaming it all, 'cause I couldn't see. It's over me, way beyond me. But I'll take the chance now. Take the chance now. I still look at us like before. There's something beyond this open door, and maybe we can go further than we used to go. 'Cause now I know that I still look at us like before. There's something beyond this open door, and maybe we can go further than we used to go. 'Cause now I know we belong.
The night is almost over, and I was not thinking very clearly, which is why half of Cocktail Cam didn't get recorded. So we're gonna jump in right after I tell you that somebody at the table decided it would be a good idea to order another entire bottle of schnapps.
But so we all took our first sips of it, and we were all like,
Wow, this tastes really strong.
and so we were surprised about the alcohol percentage and the sort of effects that this schnapps had, because a couple nights ago one of the other people at the table also bought a bottle of schnapps, but a different kind from a different brewery or distillery, and that was just as strong, but it had a much smoother flavor. So that just goes to show you, sometimes you just take a couple sips and you think, oh, this tastes good, but it's actually really strong. And then other times you just take one sip and you think,
Oh my gosh, this is so strong.
but it's all the same. And that's what life is about. And I took some short little videos of the food and of the other people at my table tonight. So these are the people that I shared the night with. And tonight I did talk about Marcus, and everything seems to be cool. So I'm happy about that too. It was not an issue, but who knows? Maybe I'll show up to dinner tomorrow night and I'll be the only person sitting at the table. That could happen too. I'm going to turn off the camera and turn off the light now because, like I said, that schnapps was
Strong.
And tomorrow we're going to be in this small city of Melk, where I'm going to see the Abbey and this beautiful library that a lot of people have talked about, and show it to you too. I'm Morgan from the very unofficial travel guides. That means see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
It's now